the Man, where we bring you our viewpoints, outlooks, opinions, thoughts, notes. What else do we bring them? I don't know. I'm just happy to be back. Mitch, how you feeling today?
I'm feeling great, man. I was just vibing there for about three
My
minutes
goodness,
there.
you put it you almost put on too good of a banger for us to get the show started.
It was only a matter of time, right?
But it was only a matter of time. My goodness, welcome everybody back. Kino, Vino, Holly, Gigs, Labani. Who else we got in here? Dad Bods. Thank you everybody for showing up today. It feels good to be back. There's so much to talk about. Um, and as I'm thinking of like what this show was going to be about today, is like I don't know if it should be about baseball because quite frankly there is no baseball, but it's a lot to talk about baseball. And I don't know if it should be about football because we both enjoy football so much. But there's no football, but so much going on within that I'm just feeling amazed. Um, and it would only be the right thing that at the beginning of the podcast, I ask you this: How you feeling that Aaron Rodgers ain't gonna be in Pittsburgh?
Well, at first, when I heard the rumors and the implications that he could be coming there, I was excited, of course, and I was like, "Oh, that'll be, that's actually good." Um, After handing the torch over to the Rodgers, Roethlisberger to Rodgers, I'm like, okay, so they're still in win now mode. Like they're championship contenders if that happens. But then
Mm-hmm.
start seeing what they'd have to give up and what you're hearing,
Yeah.
like, and I'm like, but is it worth that? Because he's an aging quarterback. He still chokes in the playoffs. He has one Super Bowl.
Damn.
I mean, and his only Super Bowl is against the Steelers. So that's the only
Yeah.
team he's ever beat and he's made it to. But the more I thought about it, as it's gotten closer up until today, I've actually not wanted him. I think now I'm all in on getting a quarterback out of the draft this year.
I feel that. I mean, you really don't have that many options. I mean, someone's already reporting your boy, what's Mason Rudolph,
Yeah.
the red-nosed reindeer. They got him reporting that he's betting along with Calvin Ridley, and we'll get into that bum a little bit later. But right now, your QB situation is very interesting. That it could go all types of different ways. I honestly did not think that Aaron Rodgers was going to be back with the Packers. They didn't have cap room. I don't know how they're going to sign Devontae Adams, but they haven't even signed Aaron Rodgers. Did you see the press or his tweet today?
Yeah, I did actually.
He essentially said, "Hey, y'all are reporting this, but I haven't signed shit, and the reports that y'all have aren't even correct." Now, I think that he's exaggerating that a little bit.
Yeah.
But what if Aaron Rodgers doesn't actually stick with the Packers?
That
Do
would.
you feel like that's a possibility, or do you think he's just sticking with the Packers?
I mean, up to this, I mean, who knows? Because we know their history between the two, Rodgers and that
Mm-hmm.
franchise. So who knows? I mean, he could just throw a curveball and actually do that and just really screw them over. Think that they have him, and then he just declines it and then just goes elsewhere, which would be, I mean, comedy. But I mean, I really don't see that though. I really think this is legit. Because why wouldn't you take the money? You're at that age. You're gonna be
Yeah.
the highest paid quarterback. You're in a place that you have been your whole career, and
Mm-hmm.
I just don't see him not turning it down now after it's been offered.
Yeah, he's absolutely going to be paid the highest wherever he goes.
True.
I think that's something that he can demand, and I think that's something that he's going to get. Whether he sticks with the Packers, and apparently they have something in place where they're going to make the money work. They're going to make the money work with him there, or wherever he chooses to go. They're going to have at least a principal agreement in place for them to say, "Hey, yeah, we're going to give you $50 million every single year." Now, the thing is with the Packers, they're going to be putting so much money into two people because they're going to have to put 50 million into Aaron Rodgers, and they're going to put at least 20 million into Devontae Adams.
Yeah, it's a
That's
big
almost a
package.
quarter of the cap.
Yeah,
That's closer to a third than a quarter of all the cap space. Successful teams do not put a third of their cap space into two players. I don't give a damn how good they are.
I agree. It only sets you up. You're gonna be hurting later on, in the future. It's just
Yeah.
your whole makeup of your teams is going to be depleted.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And my man Giggs over here being sad as a Bears fan, I'm like, as a Bear fan, I'm happy to hear that. Because you can't build around that. How you have to have money to build around. And if you don't have money, because they're already having to put money in the future, which is the Packers in 2025 and 2026, I know that's 4 years down the road, they're going to be in cap hell then. They're already in cap hell now. If I'm the Bears, I'm like, go ahead and do that. We got ourselves that we got to work on. We got a young QB that's actually affordable. Now, we'll see. I mean, we saw the limitations of the Packers where they could not beat a Jimmy Garoppolo-led 49ers. And Jimmy Garoppolo played like Jimmy Garoppolo in that game in the playoffs.
Sure did.
He scored no touchdowns. He barely did a damn thing. And you're telling me the MVP can't beat that? I mean, come on. Like it. Are the Packers actually going to be good with Aaron Rodgers? I don't know. I'd say probably not.
I mean, it's just going to be the same old thing. You have Rodgers and Adams. That's that connection there. But it's their defense too. That's been kind of that Rodgers has been missing since 2010 when he had his best defense he's ever had. I mean, I just don't see them. They have them like the third highest odds of winning the Super Bowl. I don't even see that at all. I don't even know why they. I don't think he's that big a factor.
The defense was as best as they had been last season.
True.
And it still wasn't good enough.
Nope.
They couldn't even lose in an NFC championship like they're used to doing. Now, I'm really sounding like a Packers hater, aren't I?
A little bit.
But it's just what it is, man. I mean, that's just my observation of the situation. And Packers got a lot of work to do. They apparently got their QB back, but we'll see what else is going to be happening.
We'll see if it's worth it.
We'll see if it's worth it. Aaron Rodgers was not the only top 10 QB moved this season.
Nope.
And regularly, we'd say this guy is a top 5 QB being moved. I don't think he played like a top 5 QB last year, but he at any point he can be a top 5 QB, and that is of course Russell Wilson going to the Broncos. I gotta say Seattle royally fucked their way out of the next few seasons. They're gonna need a lot of rebuilding, and the Broncos are the Broncos a contender?
I absolutely think so. That's one position they've been lacking since Peyton Manning's left. I mean, since Peyton Manning has left, they've not had a quarterback, consistent quarterback play, and I think they have the weapons. They got young weapons as well on the offensive side. They got Javonte Williams. He looked good last year, running back.
Yeah.
Their defense is actually a little underrated as well. They're definitely that like sleeper team next year to make a push for the playoff run for sure. And then Russell Wilson is one of the best deep ball accuracy throwers in the league. I'd say he is the best deep ball with his accuracy. And he's got Judy. He's got some fast guys too. And it's going to be exciting to watch, I think. Now, is he going to stay healthy? Because that's what last year hurt him.
Yeah, well, he had one of those kind of fluke injuries
Yeah,
where I think he broke his or dislocated his
his finger.
finger,
Yeah, his throwing
and
hand too.
that's one of those injuries like that is not a perennial or annual injury like a hamstring. That's a little bit of bad luck, and as bad as it got. However, Seattle wasn't doing anything even with him there,
True.
and I think that's a little bit of the problem. Now, I want to play a little game of true or false with you,
Oh, okay, that's exciting.
okay? And we'll put this on a poll in just a second. True or false? Russell Wilson is the third best QB in his division.
In his division. True.
I'm right there with you, man. I thought I was gonna have to argue with you.
No,
Yeah, man.
I'll take
I
Herbert and Mahomes over Wilson any day
mhm.
right now. I mean, true. Another thing is that they've been on the team. This was before the season, before he's had the chemistry with his receivers. This is just speculation on Wilson right now. But still, I as of right now, yes, he's the third best.
I'm right there with you. I mean, Herbert was good last year.
Herbert's and the way he's started off his 2 years of his career. He's on a pace. I mean, be one of the for record pacing. I mean, he already has on a record pace right now. If he can keep it up.
Mm-hmm.
And they just signed Mike Williams too for the Chargers today, so he has that weapon still in his arsenal.
I mean, like I said, Russell Wilson can be a top five
No,
person.
definitely.
Herbert looked like he can be a top five guy. I think he needs his team to get better around him. But as for like a QB, it's very close. But it's interesting to hear people talk about the Broncos being a contender now, when it's just like, yo, they still got to get past Mahomes.
Yeah.
Like, do you think they're going to get past Mahomes?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
I mean, you saw they were vulnerable at the beginning of the year, but look what happened when they turned it on the second half of the season. I mean, that's so hard to beat that team when they're clicking, especially when their defense was playing like they did. I mean, this is a big day today, blockbuster day in the NFL for sure.
Yeah, and man, free agency is gonna start on Monday. Well, the legal tampering period is going to start on Monday, which is absolutely the stupidest thing I've ever heard of. Either be able to sign or you can't. Legal tampering. It's ridiculous. But it's a lot of good movement. You're seeing a lot of, people are getting franchise tagged. Devontae Adams got franchise tagged. Um, 3 tight ends got franchise tagged, which is interesting.
Yeah.
Um, there's a lot of good movement going on.
Absolutely.
We'll see what this actually translates to next week when free agency starts. Is there anybody in free agency that you feel like that the Steelers want?
Definitely lineman. And one I know that is on the radar is a center for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I think his name's Jensen, I believe.
He's good. He's good.
And that's who they're kind of targeting right now. Because they have a very young line. Obviously, their line's their biggest weakness for the Steelers. So getting somebody in there, because they had a rookie center last year, and he just did not play very well. And center is one of the most important position on that line besides the tackles. I mean, they're all important, but you got the center has to snap the ball to the quarterback, and are they considered like captains of the line, of the reads and stuff? Is it the center's job or?
Typically, yes. A good center is able to do that.
Yeah.
Right. A good center takes that pressure off of the QB to identify who the mic is, which helps with the pass protection and the run blocking scheme.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
So a good QB is right there, or a good center is right there doing all that, which could help your team out a lot because Lord knows you don't want Mason Rudolph doing the goddamn thing.
No.
But even if you get a rookie QB, for that rookie QB not to have that job of identifying and setting the line, that would help them out a ton.
Yeah, and that's why I think that's a good target, at least for a lineman right now, is a center. And then the Kendrick Green, who was a center last year, who's a rookie, can have more experience behind a veteran center and learn from him. So I think that'd be just good for just overall for the future for him as well. And I'll tell you a quarterback, if this is my kind of reach, but I would be okay with it. If they don't get but this would have to be before the draft, but Marcus Mariota, I think I'd be okay with getting him. As crazy as that sounds.
Marcus Mariota.
Yeah, because and that's because of the offense that they are running right now with Matt Canada. They had to have a mobile quarterback, and he's probably the best mobile quarterback on the market right now, at least free agent wise. And it'd be very cheap to at least have for just a placeholder.
What was y'all's offense?
I mean, honestly, with Ben Roethlisberger in that offense,
over a dink and duck offense because your QB was cooked.
Well, everything was out of place. It had a wrong coordinator.
Is that what you're gonna call it?
Yeah, because the coordinator wanted to do something else, and Ben, I mean, even if Ben was in a air raid, couldn't do anything. But he's wanting a mobile offense, and that's why they got to get somebody mobile, and that's why I think Malik Willis is my eyeing him up. I mean, I would obviously love Pickett, but I don't think Pickett's going to drop as far, and I know the Steelers would have to trade up to get Pickett if they want him. But I think Malik Willis is the one I've been eyeing up since the Senior Bowl.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting to see what happens because right now, in a few mocks that I've seen, there have been no QBs taken in the top 10.
That is surprising.
Is that a good thing? I'm not sure. But we'll definitely see. I say all that to say that there seems to be there's gonna be some QBs when y'all draft.
Yeah.
There's gonna be some people available. We'll see if y'all are able to snatch one up. And quite frankly, Kenny Pickett may be one of those people that falls.
Yeah, I mean it's the weakest quarterback class in a while, so I mean it's very possible. I mean, he's already predicted like a mid round out of the draft, like with all the mock drafts and everything. At least of where he was ranked in the draft class was like mid tier or that. So just depending on your need, I mean, if you need a quarterback, is it going to be worth taking a first round? Because I mean, you could waste a pick there and get somebody better and a more heavy loaded class of positions in the draft. And that's why if somehow, for some reason, Malik Willis and Pickett get picked, I would, and I've said this watching him play all year, and it's your boy Davis out of Georgia. If because he was predicted at like the 20 where they picked Jordan Davis, yeah.
Yeah, Jordan Davis.
Where he was projected was like 20th, like right where the Steelers are picking. And if like for some reason Willis, Pickett are picked, I don't take a quarterback in the first round because there's no one worth taking after that point in the first round. And I think Jordan Davis would be a game changer for him on a defensive side on that line.
Davis ain't making it past 15.
You don't think so? I mean, after what he's after the combine,
dude is over 300 pounds. Ran a 4.78.
I know.
What the fuck?
The mock draft still I haven't seen them updated after the combine, but like before, he's still going in the 20s, man. I don't know what's going on. I thought he'd be in the top 5, but it's always defensive linemen, the ends, and then you get the cornerbacks are big, getting taken in offensive linemen. So we'll see. The mock drafts are always wrong, but.
I mean, the thing is, you never truly know what people are doing.
Berries and cream, berries and cream. I'm a little lad who loves berries and cream. Berries and cream, berries and cream. I'm a little lad who loves berries and cream.
You may be able to get one of the other Georgia defensive linemen um, which anybody paired up with TJ Watt is going to be good.
Oh, absolutely.
That's just a matter of fact.
Or did they get offensive line help at a draft at that point too? I don't know. Yeah. I think obviously quarterbacks are number one priority, and I think it's going to be Pickett or Willis. Whoever's available. Pickett's available, it's Pickett. If Pickett's taken and Willis is available, it's going to be Willis.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see.
Yeah,
That
I get it.
it's going off untreaded waters here that I've never been a part of for a long time. Well, actually, since I've really been paying attention, because when I really got into football was when Roethlisberger pretty much got drafted and he got the torch. So really, this is going to be interesting for me. It's kind of scary, to be honest with you.
It's been 16 years since you've had to worry about a QB.
18.
18.
Yeah.
Has it been 18?
Yeah, 2004.
Golly, man, I don't know math. It's been a long time since you've had to worry about that. I mean, I'm almost in the same position. I'm starting to worry about it, but we're in a position where we ain't really moving on.
Yeah.
But it's definitely going to be interesting.
It is
within that space.
How about you? What are you looking forward to in this offseason for the Falcons? And I know one thing has been a big factor. That's
yesterday, I got nothing but jokes. Calvin Ridley gets suspended for a whole season because he was betting on the Falcons?
Was it $1,300 is all I heard it was?
$1,500.
And how much
$1,500.
And how much did he make last year?
I don't care how much money. Why are you betting on the Falcons? You woke up that morning and you looked at the DraftKings who's partnered with the NFL. You called them up and said, "Hey, if I bet, am I going to get in trouble?" They said, "Hey, man, I don't think we should be talking to you." He hangs up, bets $1,500 in a parlay on the Falcons? You're going to depend on the Falcons to cover a spread? They couldn't cover a 12-point spread. I just don't get it. The Falcons have a cursed history. They went to the Super Bowl in 1998. The man of the year, who's supposed to be upstanding citizen who helps in the community, gets caught soliciting a prostitute. In 2006, their star QB, who just got a franchise or a contract extension, goes to prison for dogfighting. The coach leaves, leaving thank you notes on the lockers the next year, and you lose the Super Bowl 20. What the fuck? So, the Falcons were supposed to get a first-round pick for Calvin Ridley.
That's right.
After his bum ass sat throughout most of the season. He played like 4 games.
That's right. He's on a fantasy team too.
He was on my fantasy team. He was on one of them. I can't remember which one. All my teams suck. Anyway. And now the Falcons don't get shit by standing by this bum.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah, I'm upset. Yeah, I'm a little upset. The Falcons are. I got nothing but jokes for this bum, though. I got nothing but jokes for this bum.
Do you think Kyle Pitts told him? So when Ridley probably walked up to him, right, and said, "Hey, man, I'm gonna have to. Mentally, I'm not there. I'm gonna have to take a break." And then Kyle Pitts says, "All right, bet." And then Calvin really went and bet.
Oh man, don't be stealing people's jokes.
I saw it today. Credit Twitter.
Why are you stealing people's jokes?
I didn't know if you saw it or not. See if you think I did it. See.
Yes, I did see it, and you're stealing people's jokes.
Got me red-handed.
Certified bum. That's what Calvin Ridley is. The biggest thing is that this actively hurts the Falcons' plans. They can't cut him because if they cut him, that that means they have 11 million off the books. I mean, off the cap in dead money.
Yeah.
I don't know where that cap hit goes right now. They can't trade him, which would have freed up almost 12 million. Falcons need that space. The fact that it put so much of a hurt for the Falcons offseason to try to actually rebuild this team, because the Falcons are in the process of this. We're going to try to win now and we're going to try to rebuild, which I don't think works, but whatever. I'm not the GM. I just don't know what's going to happen here. Over $1,500, bro. Are you serious?
Can't write it up. You can't make it up, man.
You honestly cannot make it up. It makes no sense. This guy is a certified bum. He probably lost that parlay too.
He probably did. And the craziest thing
that lost that parlay.
This was his biggest opportunity this year as well. First year as the wide receiver 1, Julio Jones out. Your opportunity. You're the guy. And what does he have to show for it? Now I understand the whole mental health thing. Everyone deserves that. If you're really going through something like that, have a break. But then to go right when you're done and just go and start betting on your team, just crazy.
Yeah, I just don't get it. Let me ask you this though: should Calvin Ridley be suspended for the whole season? Is that an appropriate punishment for what happened?
Honestly, I don't think so. Not the whole season. And my reasoning is this. If he was actually playing and betting, then yes. And then maybe it would be life. I guess it would be like the Pete Rose situation there. But for him actually being away from the team and doing it, I don't think it should be a whole season.
Yeah.
But it's still stupid, but I don't think it should be as harsh.
I feel that.
Especially for the amount.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think it's even the amount that matters, because if it was comparative to the amount, then it's like, yeah, you wouldn't be suspended. That's not even 10% of a game check for him, right?
Yeah.
I think it's really just the principle that he was betting on the game that he's in, and they're just standing firm with that. He wasn't involved in the games though.
Yeah, that's the thing.
And I wonder if he appealed, would that change anything? I'm not sure, because people take this betting stuff seriously, but it's like also slightly hypocritical, because it's like NFL, you're partners with these people. Like, so like, where are you gonna choose? Not saying that a player should be able to bet on their team while they're playing, even if you're playing to win. That's too murky. You can never really prove that. But if he's not playing, he's not even around the team. Nobody had contact with him other than, hey, you good? No? Okay, bye. That's it.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
Like, give him 6 games, throw him out the fucking window.
Yeah, I'm good at 6.
That's what I'm thinking, but I don't know. I'm not Roger Goodell. However, I've seen Roger Goodell mess up a lot of stuff.
only a few, just a few.
Right, like we've seen multiple domestic violence issues get 6 games.
Yeah.
So I mean, where's this?
Where's the line?
What does he actually care about?
Money.
I mean, but is this actually caring about money? I think it's honestly, he doesn't know what to do. The NFL doesn't know what to do in these situations.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like
I'd argue that neither does the MLB.
Oh. Yeah, it's like they're not prepared.
I mean, look at the Marcell Ozuna situation.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how I got on this tangent. that somehow on International Women's Day I began talking about domestic violence. It seems a little bit inappropriate. Happy International Women's Day to all the women out there. Holla if you hear me. But like that's the problem. People don't actually care about women. Let's move on. You want to talk about baseball?
Sure, why not?
What is going on? Are we going to get baseball this season?
I honestly do not know.
I saw reports that maybe the whole season was going to get canceled, that they're that far apart to they have a third deadline where deadlines don't even work. The first deadline, they said, hey, we're going to start canceling games. They made reports that they canceled the first two series. And then we get word today that if they had a deadline by the end of the day today, that they would still be able to play 162 games. Tell me what's going on, Mitch.
I honestly do not know. Their way of negotiating is just out of this world. Because how can you say, okay, like if you're gonna say one thing, you got to stick with it and really press it. But then if you say, oh, you can play 162 now, it's like the players are just like, this is just a joke. I mean,
you can't go back on it. You can't.
No.
You can't go back on what you said.
No.
If you're going to cancel games, cancel games. If you're not, you're not. Don't be scared. Right now, the owners are acting scared. I don't know if they actually are or not, but they're acting like it.
It's a mess. My prediction is that it's going to be one of those like half seasons. It might even look like the COVID year. Have like not even start till the summer.
Wow. Yeah. You're saying that less than half the games are going to get played?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
If that. I could see there not being a season at all.
Golly. I think there's a chance that we're going to get over 120 games. For some reason, I get a feeling that we aren't going to get 162.
I don't see that.
They've wasted too much time for that to actually happen. Because here's the biggest thing. Right now, where you have October for the playoffs, NFL and NCAA just getting started, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you're able to actually have eyes on the MLB. MLB starts going into November, trying to make up for playoffs. That's bad news. People are going to watch the NFL and college football over the MLB.
Yeah.
And right now, the only people who are hurting in this MLB situation are the fans. Yeah, the players are missing a couple paychecks. They'll be all right.
They'll be taken care of.
Right now, it's the players. It's the fans.
The fans, yeah. We're being robbed. If we had a competent commissioner who is...
I don't even think that we should
not
put it all on
It's not,
Manfred,
because
though.
it's owners mainly.
He's just a face for
the owners.
Yeah. Now, he is a ridiculous face that doesn't get much right. I will give you that. But this is not him. This is on the owners. Now, how Manfred handles the situation from that is absolutely ridiculous. Yeah. Like, there's no reason you should be laughing or smiling in a press conference in this situation. You have a labor dispute going on. Like, act like it. And he doesn't know. He apparently doesn't get what's going on.
Not at all. And I now know, because I know we've talked about it, like as what's going on, but now everyone, baseball fans, talking to you guys, know how it feels to be under the realm of Bob Nutting, because he was one of the main culprits in voting against the whole, was it spring training? Is that what he voted against? What was it, the actual vote?
I don't know what he voted against or voted for. I do know he wanted to continue to be a broke boy.
Yeah, and that's just he well, he's not broke. He just doesn't want to be. He's a cheap ass. And that's how everything how I had to go through every year. It's just like one of those things that there's a guy out there they probably could get. No way. He's the ultimate decision, and like those kind of owners are messing everything up.
I agree. It really is I think it does come down to the owners not being willing to spend money. And if you can't afford a team and be willing to spend money, then you can't afford a team. There comes something that if you don't use this great game of baseball as just a moneymaker. If you're using it as just a moneymaker, the two people are going to be hurt. Well, I even say three entities are going to be hurt. The players are going to be hurt because they aren't going to pay him. The fans are going to be hurt because they're going to have a quarter of the league not putting out a quality piece of entertainment on the field because you're going to be playing people that probably shouldn't be in the MLB. And then third, the game of baseball as an entity gets hurt because it's just bad baseball.
Absolutely.
And bad baseball only facilitates bad baseball. And it takes these really good players that, every team has at least 2 or 3 good players. Think about how wearing it is to be on a 100-loss team.
Yeah. You waste careers.
A 95-loss team.
Mentally. I mean, really got the pressure all on you, too. Like, especially if they're like a superstar, like for let's go for Pirates example. Just like a Brian Hayes, like a Brian Reynolds, they're so young, and they have so much weight on their shoulders that they have to carry. And at that age, they shouldn't have to.
Yeah.
They shouldn't have to.
Absolutely. And even if he's ready, maybe he shouldn't have to. But, the Pirates aren't putting more people around him.
No.
And a huge factor within this is the competitive balance tax. And that's the biggest thing that they're arguing over. And they're about 20 million apart. They were about 20 million apart. If they actually shrink together, you're about 9 million away from the median of what could actually get an agreement. 9 million is something like a 4-starter now. That's what you're paying for there.
Yeah.
You're telling me the fans aren't having baseball because both sides are not willing to give up 9 million? Right now, I bet a year ago, if the owners were actually, trying to negotiate in good faith, I think the players would be able to say, "Hey, yeah, we can do 9 million. We'll take that. We'll be willing to concede that." But right now, the owners have been so steadfast in their unwillingness to have good faith negotiations that the players are like, "Listen, we're just standing here on principle right now. We don't care what you want. We're gonna get ours, and we're gonna hold this line." And that's what the players have been able to show, that they're ready to hold that line.
They sure are.
Owners are in some trouble.
They are, and that's why they're scared.
The owners cannot keep trying to belittle these players.
Oh.
That's what's going on. The owners are belittling these players, knowing damn well that they're in a partnership with them. An uneven partnership, but it's still a partnership. Owners need to act like it. Right now, they ain't acting like it. So guess what? We may or may not have baseball. We definitely won't have the baseball that we deserve.
Yeah, definitely not on time.
Definitely not on time.
So we've
already passed that point.
Yeah.
Players need a spring training.
Yeah, the pitchers especially, they're the one position that really needs it to get their arms prepped up.
Yeah.
And then we've all said, and plenty of us, all us baseball fans, I know any diehard baseball fan would say it, that opening day is like one of the most wonderful days of the year. Just like the excitement that leads up to it, and that day, this base, like, just so into it for that day, and then we got robbed from it this year. We got robbed from it because of a pandemic previously, but this time it was it could have been avoidable.
I'm not that fixated on opening day. Opening day is going to be whenever the first game is.
I know, but it's just that time of year, though. I don't know.
It is that. I get that feeling.
That's kind of what I mean by that, I guess.
Yeah, I can empathize with that. You know, it is that feeling. We should be having some baseball right now, at least some spring training, and seeing some prospects and stuff like that.
The
But
weather
right now,
gets
we aren't
nice.
getting that.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. I get that. I get that. I'm just hoping we have some opening day.
The only thing I have in April now is the Masters.
You really love you some Masters, man.
I do. It's a tradition unlike any other.
That's great. So another thing that is currently being negotiated is a 14 or 12 team playoff.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like it. Do you have any thoughts about that?
Of course, I'm going to say I like it because it forces my team to have to stay competing and buy. They are not going to be straight up selling. It gives them.
You're one of those people.
Well, I just want to see my team have in a position where they're going to have to spend money and actually put, like we've been talking about, a team on a field that's actually going to be competitive and actually enjoyable to watch. Because
they're not going to be enjoyable to watch. The thing is, like, you still got to spend money to have a good team.
Well,
you can't. It's like that's not going to expand. Expanding the playoff is not going to make your team better. It's just going to make it easier to be bad because you may be able to sneak into the playoffs.
Hey, all you got to do is get in, right?
No. We've seen that we've seen that's not how it works in football. It's going to be a miracle when the first time a 7 seed in football actually wins a playoff game.
Yeah, 6 seed was the most crazy. That was a crazy thing with the Steelers and Giants did in football, and I don't think really anyone's done that since those two teams.
Yeah, and you're going to expect a 7 seed to do that in NFL or a 7 seed in baseball?
And football's one game. You got a series you got to go through in baseball. So and it's all about pitching. In the playoffs, of pitching it really matters, especially when you get into the series.
Teams that are typically a 7 seed, and I look back at this in the 21 season and then the 17 through 19 seasons, the average win of that was like 83 or 84. That's 2 games above 500. That's not a good team.
No.
They're going to get their ass whooped in the playoffs, and if they do win, it's luck. And now there is a little bit of an element of luck in baseball where it is, hey, just get hot at the right time. But, like, those aren't good teams that's making it. In 2017, you know what would have been the 7th seed?
What's that?
The fourth in the division, the 4th place Pirates would have been the 7th seed in the NL.
In 17?
In 17.
Oh, wow.
A below 500 team.
Wow. I guess ever look
You
at
want
it
to
that
see that? Do you want to see that?
No, but the difference is that they probably would have made moves at least probably not be under 500 at that point.
No,
if that was the case.
The thing is, moves aren't going to be made. Because everybody's going to think they have a chance.
I guess that's true. So that does make the trade markets going to be really
It's not like it's just going to be you there sitting
I got
there.
you. No, I got you.
Everybody is.
I understand where you're coming from.
And so it automatically reduces the pot where people
are going to be willing to trade.
Choose from.
Yeah.
And so what? It's only going to be bad teams that's going to be willing to trade? You're going to want some players off a bad team? Were there any Marlins players that you would have wanted last year that actually were available for trade? No. Like,
the salary floor is what I want. Unless you have to spend a certain amount.
I mean, the thing is that That's the next step. And Bot Nunny doesn't want that either.
Oh, of course he doesn't. He's going to be forced to spin.
Of course he doesn't. And the thing is, it's just essentially creating a salary cap in baseball. And I've seen so many bad takes about this where it's just like, at least there's going to be more parity if there's a salary cap in baseball. You know how else there's going to be more parity? If people weren't being so scared to spend money.
That's true.
If people weren't being so scared to manipulate, or if people were too scared to spend money on players to where they're manipulating service time so they have to wait a little bit longer to actually pay these players. It all leads back to the owners just being cheap.
So they've had so much power and influence on everything. And now they finally have a voice in the players pushing them back against the wall. And now they just are like, the alarms are going off and they're just trying as much as possible to keep pushing back to get back to what it used to be.
And it's just my opinion. If you want to run a baseball team as a for-profit entity, all right, go for it. But don't bitch about it when you want to win or when people want you to spend money. Because hey, is baseball here to make money or is it here to win? And quite frankly, for a long time, it's been just about money. And very few teams actually want to win. Or at least give the impression that they want to win.
Exactly.
And they wonder why this game is failing.
Yeah, it's unfortunate because it is my favorite sport. And it's just embarrassing for, I guess, like as a country, just like with that sport, And NHL is still below baseball still, I believe. But I mean, this rate, I wouldn't be surprised if NHL somehow makes a push and gets past baseball the way it's going.
Nah, I don't see that.
I mean, I was exaggerating tremendously there, but still.
Probably.
But, I mean, it's still to the point that it's the failing of where it's going and just like this mockery of what's going on right now.
Yeah. Calling it failing was a hyperbole as well. But I'm just upset.
We all are.
I just want baseball.
Give us baseball. Please.
We can't even do any picks of the week this week because there's no baseball.
The only
I
thing we
just
can do.
made that up.
The only thing we can do. I guess we could just go out the wall here and do predictions for the tournaments for college basketball. This tournament weekend this weekend.
That sounds terrible.
It does sound terrible. That's all I got. That's all I got.
I don't want to do it. I'm not in this game of shenanigans.
I'm not either.
Anyway. Oh man.
What a way to end it, man.
Good,
I'm in a bad mood though. After talking about that.
You're in a bad mood? Well, we'll pick it up in the after show.
Well, it's just talking about baseball, and then we don't have it, and then you realize you don't know when it's going to be, if any.
I brought down the mood just a little bit.
I think it's when he said failing.
Yeah, I think so. Anyway, this has been Slip in a Man, where we bring you our viewpoints, opinions, notes, thinking points. I can't remember the whole spiel anymore. But it's been a lot of fun, Mitch. We'll be back very soon. We got to do this more often.
Most definitely.
But until then, don't slip.
Don't slip.